What's up guys, I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never and welcome back to a very important market update. If you enjoy this content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. None of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Alright, so as I'm sure you guys know, over the last day or so, most markets around the world are getting nuked. For example, 8 minutes ago, over 2.1 trillion wiped out from the US stock market at open. We also saw Thailand Stock Exchange temporarily bans short selling. Singapore stock market suffers worst single day crash in over 16 years. 1.3 billion was liquidated from the cryptocurrency market in the past 24 hours. China's stock market suffers worst single day crash since 2008. As it falls 10% at the open. And I could keep going down the list, but regardless, you guys get the point. But what's very important to understand right now is that 1 hour ago, the Federal Reserve announced its closed board meeting for today. It is not uncommon to see a monetary policy shift when the market is crashing. So this is definitely something to keep your eyes on. Now, I am going to go over Bitcoin in just a second, but more importantly, I need to go over the S&P. And the reason I want to go over the S&P is because people do not understand how oversold we are right now. I know I talk about being oversold in a lot of my videos, and a lot of you guys probably just glaze over it at this point. But you have to understand the RSI right now. If you look at the RSI, this is the weekly time frame. We are extremely oversold. If we go back and we look through the history of when we have been this oversold, the first time we find is the COVID crash. Okay, obviously, yeah, the market got sold off hard during COVID. What happened afterwards? We had a very strong recovery. When is the next time that we were this oversold? Right here, the 2008 crash. What happened after this? Well, we went down a little bit more, but then we had a very strong breakout eventually. So we have not been this oversold since COVID, and then before that, 2008. And this is the S&P 500. This isn't some small asset class. From the top, the S&P had pulled back 21.5%. That is a massive pullback. Now, what's very interesting is if we look at Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin is actually holding very well. Now, what's interesting about Bitcoin is that we finally came down and almost retested the previous high. From a technical analysis standpoint, this makes perfect sense, and this is what I've been telling you guys for a long time now. Do not be shocked at all if we come back to retest 73,700. Now, I do want to be clear though, we did not actually retest this level. We came down to a low of 74,400. But what's interesting about this is that many times throughout history, we have seen Bitcoin front run very important levels. Now, am I saying that this is the bottom for Bitcoin? Not necessarily. But there is a chance that we have already seen a bottom and that we will not actually come down and retest this level. I'm telling you, we see levels get front ran all the time. Look at this level right here specifically. Everyone thought when Bitcoin was making this first bull flag that we would come down and we would retest this previous wick right here. This wick had a high of $49,048. And this wick right here had a low of $49,577. So we were about $500 off of retesting this level. So there are no guarantees that we actually retest this. But the fact that we have gotten very close is actually a bullish sign. So if the market could start to recover, this could be the retest that we needed. And I can't stress this enough about the S&P. The fact that we are the same oversold as we were in 2008 is mind-blowing. Just to put these levels in perspective, the COVID crash prices were at 2,191 at a low. Right now, we are currently at 4,900, and we are basically the same oversold. If we go back to 2008, the prices were at 865 at a low. That is why it is super important for you guys to actually have perspective. I know a lot of people are panicking right now. I understand it. And especially if you guys are looking at Ethereum, you're panicking. Because if you look at Ethereum, it went to a low of $1,411. That is crazy to think about. It was only back in December that Ethereum had broken above $4,000 again. But I'm going to continue saying the same thing for Ethereum. We are extremely oversold in pretty much every single time frame. The 1 week, the 2 week, the 1 month, the 3 month, it doesn't matter. Look at the larger time frames, we're extremely oversold. Even the smaller time frames are extremely oversold. Even from the bottom though, Ethereum has gotten a decent bounce. Again, we had a low of $1,411. We are already back up to $1,550. But at the moment, Ethereum is more or less going to follow Bitcoin and it's going to follow the S&P. And I think a lot of these will come down to monetary policy. And right now, again, we can see that the Federal Reserve announced a closed board meeting for today. And oftentimes this can lead to a pivot, especially when you have a major drop like what we're seeing. So yeah, obviously only time will tell what's going to happen with the market. I don't have a crystal ball, I have no idea. But what I do want to just make sure you guys actually understand is that we are extremely oversold. We have not seen these kind of levels since COVID and since 2008. And for Bitcoin specifically, we have basically came down and retested the previous high. We did front run the level a little bit, but we have also front ran many levels in the past. So could we still come down and retest these levels? Absolutely. But we did get very close already. All of that being said, if you guys are interested in joining a like-minded community, then I recommend taking a look at my Discord. We're here for the market pumps, we're here for the market dumps, we're here for everything. And we've been making huge gains this entire bull run as well. And market conditions will turn around again. But my Discord's around 1 year old and we've already called 6 different 200x projects as a community. Just to put that in perspective, a $1,000 investment could have turned into over $200,000. So if this is the kind of thing that sounds interesting to you guys, I have the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I'd love to see you guys in here. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are feeling about the market. If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.